Hey everyone, it's me, Madison. Changing up the background a little bit, and so I'm in my house. Welcome to my home. Glad you're here. I want to start in John, and we're going to talk about the woman caught in adultery. Many of you have probably heard it. If you haven't, well, this is your first time, and I'm honored to get to share it with you. I'm going to read this in the Message version, and this is titled "To Throw the Stone." Jesus went across to Mount Olives, but he was soon back in the temple again. Swarms of people came to him, and he sat down and he taught them. The religion scholars and Pharisees led the woman who had been caught in the act of adultery. And they stood her in plain sight of everyone and said, "Teacher, this woman was caught red-handed in the act of adultery. Moses in the law gives the orders to stone such a person. And what do you say?" They were trying to trap him into saying something incriminating so they could bring the charges against him. Jesus bent down and wrote with his finger in the dirt, and they kept at him, badgering him. He straightened up and said, "The sinless one among you, go first. Throw the first stone." Bending down again, he wrote some more in the dirt. Hearing that, they all walked away, one after another, beginning with the oldest. And the woman was left alone, and Jesus stood up and spoke to her. "Woman, where are they? Does no one condemn you?" "No one, Master." "Neither do I," said Jesus. "Go on your way. From now on, don't sin." The first thing I want to point out is Jesus said, the sinless one, go ahead, throw the first stone. And none of them could, because none of them had been sinless. But there was one in that whole group that was sinless. There was one in the whole group that could have thrown the stone. Jesus. Jesus was the only one that could have looked at this woman and could have thrown that stone. But instead what he did is he acted in a way that she had never been treated, because all these men in her life had treated her like nothing, but he treated her like the daughter she was. Because when he saw this woman laying bare before her, he didn't see a woman who was caught in adultery. He saw a woman that his God had created. The second thing that I want to share with you is that in all of this, of the world throwing her out, these Pharisees, and saying, "Look at her, she's caught in adultery." You know, the world saw her as that. The world stamped on, once a cheater, always a cheater. But we don't operate by the world. Jesus certainly doesn't operate by the world. He operates by faith, and so do you. Jesus stepped out in faith. And what he did is he took all the focus off of her and put all the focus on him. That's what he's going to do with you. When you ask him to come into your heart and he enters into your heart, he takes all the focus off of you and puts all the focus on him. And that's where the real healing begins. Because if she had been thrown before any of the men before, they would have said, "Yes, let's stone her. Let's take the focus off me and put all the blame on her." No, what Jesus did is he was a different kind of man. He gave her hope. He put all the focus on him. And the third thing is in other versions, after the people leave, it says Jesus knelt down and he said, "Woman, where are your accusers?" See, he came down to her level. Jesus could have stood over her. "Oh, I'm Jesus. Where are all your accusers?" No, what he did is he came down to her level. He came down to her level. He's going to come down to your level, right where you are. You don't have to be in a certain place to be with Jesus. He looks at that heart and he goes right where you are. He meets you right where you're at. He's patient and he's loving and he's kind and he's gentle. He's a good, good God. Those are the three things that I want you to think of. He was the only one that could have thrown the stone, but he didn't. He saw past the outside and looked in the inside. Second, he very much could have put all and said, "Yeah, that's what the law says, let's stone her." Put all the focus on her, but instead what he did is he put all the focus on him. And by putting all the focus on him, he brought life. He brought truth. He made a way. And thirdly, he always comes to our level. Be encouraged. You don't operate by the facts of this world. You operate by faith. I pray this blesses you. I pray it touches places in your hearts that you've been afraid to enter into, you've been afraid to look at. Just know he's going to make a way because he is the truth, and he's going to bring a light into those darkness, and with that will be healing. God bless you all.